AITA for turning off the Wi-Fi because my girlfriend's 28 years old brother has spent 8 years rotting in our house. I'm a 30-year-old guy, and I've been with my girlfriend, Sarah, for almost 9 years. For the most part, our relationship has been incredible. We've built a life together, we work hard, and a few years ago, her parents actually transferred the deed of our current house into our names. It's technically our property now, though there's still a lot of family attachment to it. But our peaceful life completely derailed about 8 years ago. That was when Sarah's younger brother, who we'll call Leo, got discharged from the Marines. He'd done a few years of support and base-related work right out of high school and was ready to transition back to civilian life. He moved into our house along with his new wife. The plan seemed rock solid. He was going to use his GI Bill, get a real education, and figure out a long-term career path. Because he was family and trying to get on his feet, Sarah and I fully welcomed them. We charged them absolutely zero rent. Free housing, free utilities, free internet, and we paid for all the food, constantly cooking massive family meals to keep them fed and supported. We even went out of our way to find him job opportunities, hand him resources, and shower him with constant encouragement. The problem is, temporary slowly started turning into months, and then those months turned into long, agonizing years. Leo never actually committed to school. He never held down a serious job. Instead, he slowly withdrew from the world and retreated into his bedroom, sinking deeper and deeper into the universe of online video games. His daily routine became a ghost-like existence. He stays up until the sun comes up, finally crashes, wakes up around 3 p.m., and if we ever have guests over, he actively avoids human contact like the plague. Meanwhile, his poor wife was working full-time as a grocery store cashier, single-handedly trying to support the both of them while living under our roof. You could just see the light dying in her eyes week after week. Eventually, the breaking point came. She cheated on him and packed her bags. When she left, she told him straight to his face that she just couldn't feel anything for someone who had completely lost all ambition, drive, and passion for life. Look, I know cheating is wrong, and I don't condone it, but living with him, seeing it firsthand, I completely understood how that suffocating resentment could build up after years of financially and emotionally carrying a grown man who refuses to move. After the divorce, Leo had a momentary wake-up call. He sat at our kitchen table, crying, admitting that he had completely wasted the best years of his life, and swore up and down that he wanted to change. Once again, we rallied around him. We supported him through the heartbreak, hoping this rock bottom would be the catalyst he needed. Then, things got even more crowded. Sarah's parents decided to move back onto the property as well, claiming they needed to be here to give Leo emotional support. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, and absolutely nothing had changed. Leo is now 28 years old, and he still spends almost 24 hours a day staring at a monitor, screaming at his headset, and rotting away in his room. I've brought this up to Sarah more times than I can count over the years, and it always plays out the exact same way. Either she gets incredibly defensive and angry at me for even mentioning it, or she makes up excuses, telling me he's working on a study program, or he's just figuring things out right now. But guess what? Those programs never start, and nothing ever gets figured out. Even her parents admitted to me in private that they are utterly exhausted from trying to talk to him because their words just slide right off him. I honestly felt like I was trapped in a psychological echo chamber where every single adult in the house recognizes the massive elephant in the room, but everyone is too terrified to actually confront it. So, 2 weeks ago, I finally snapped. I didn't yell, I didn't scream. I just quietly logged into our router settings and established a Wi-Fi bedtime pause from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. Since Sarah and I pay for literally all the utilities, including the high-speed internet, I figured it was well within my rights. Honestly, I thought it wouldn't affect anyone except him, because everyone else in the house sleeps during those hours like normal, functioning adults. Well, the internet cut out at midnight, and the fallout was immediate. The next morning, Sarah was absolutely furious with me. Not because the internet didn't work for her, but because I had done it without getting her permission first. She looked at me, with tears of frustration in her eyes, and said, "I couldn't even sleep last night knowing there was this horrible tension in the house because of what you did to the Wi-Fi. You're creating an environment of control." Then she started crying, explaining that when she was growing up, her grandparents used to control things in the house in a deeply toxic way that made her feel like she had zero freedom or autonomy. She claimed that me pausing the Wi-Fi brought all those horrific childhood memories flooding back. I took a deep breath, looked at her, and tried to stay as calm as possible. I told her, "Sarah, I love you, and I understand that what your grandparents did to you was completely unfair. I hear you, but you need to realize something. You aren't a helpless child anymore. And more importantly, neither is your brother." Years of pent-up financial stress, irritation, and resentment just boiled over right then. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "This isn't a case of strict parents punishing a couple of teenagers. This is a 28-year-old, grown-ass man who has spent nearly a decade of his life avoiding adulthood, while every single person around him financially cushions the consequences of his laziness." I finally said the one thing that had been burning a hole in my mind for years. Somehow, every single person in this family can sleep perfectly peacefully at night while watching your brother completely waste his life away, totally isolated in a bedroom, gaming until dawn. But the moment I pause the internet for just 6 hours to create a basic boundary, suddenly that becomes the unbearable, cruel problem in this house. Sarah just stared at me, completely stunned. She thinks I'm being a heartless, cruel monster towards someone who might be suffering from severe depression. But from where I'm standing, I think everyone in her family has spent the last 8 years actively enabling his self-destruction simply because nobody has the backbone to be the bad guy. I don't hate Leo. In fact, that's what makes this so infuriating. I've invested my own hard-earned money, my space, and my time trying to help him build a life. But there is a massive difference between helping someone who is down on their luck and subsidizing a decade-long vacation from reality. Every time we pay the internet bill, buy the groceries he eats, or let him live rent-free without any expectations, we aren't helping him heal. We are handed him the shovel to dig his own grave deeper. It's emotionally draining to watch a human being willingly turn into a ghost in your own home. And it's even worse when your partner expects you to just smile and pretend like everything is completely fine. The atmosphere in the house right now is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Sarah has been incredibly cold to me, barely making eye contact and acting like I violated her trust on a profound level. Her parents are walking on eggshells around the property, looking at me with this mix of awkward exhaustion and silent disapproval, as if I'm the one who disrupted the peace of their perfect little family arrangement. Leo, of course, hasn't said a single word to me. He just slinks out of his room even later now, grabbing food in absolute silence before retreating back into his cave. I tried talking to a close buddy of mine about it, and he's completely on my side, saying I should have kicked him out 5 years ago. But inside these four walls, I am being treated like a tyrannical villain. I'm at my absolute wit's end here. I feel like I'm paying out of my own pocket to watch my girlfriend's family ruin her brother's life. And the second I try to implement even a minor restriction, I'm the enemy. So, I have to ask you guys, AITA, update. Thank you so much for all the comments, the brutal honesty, and the incredible support. I honestly never expected my post to blow up the way it did, but reading through thousands of your perspectives gave me the reality check I desperately needed. It made me realize that I wasn't the crazy one here. A lot of people had questions regarding the legal ownership of the house, and I do admit I wasn't entirely clear about those details initially. Part of that was intentional because I really wanted to maintain some anonymity for myself and Sarah's family in case the post gained traction, which, obviously, it did. Armed with the perspectives you guys gave me, I realized that hiding from the conflict was only going to destroy my relationship with Sarah anyway. So, last night, I sat her down for a very serious, deeply emotional conversation about our future and what expectations look like moving forward. I didn't yell, but I was firmer than I've ever been. I explained to her, as clearly as possible, that I love her, but I absolutely cannot continue living in a situation where one grown adult refuses to take a shred of accountability while I am expected to carry the financial and mental burden indefinitely. I clarified that my frustration isn't born out of malice toward Leo, but out of a complete lack of initiative from his end despite nearly a decade of us trying to hand him everything he needed to succeed. I told Sarah that if nothing changes immediately, we will need to separate our living arrangements, and I will be packing my things and moving out. Seeing the reality of me leaving finally broke through the denial. It was an incredibly painful conversation, but it was so necessary. We have finally agreed to establish real, hard deadlines and measurable steps for Leo to address his life. As so many veterans in the comments pointed out, our very first step is pushing him to utilize the VA resources he has ignored for years, specifically for his mental health and transition support. After that, we are giving him a strict timeline to engage with career workshops and employment assistance programs. I made it completely clear to Sarah and her parents that I am more than willing to support a man who is actively trying to improve his life, but I am entirely done enabling someone who refuses to help themselves. For now, the Wi-Fi pause is staying on, and I'm focusing zero energy on empty promises and 100% of my energy on real, visible actions. Thank you all again. You truly helped me protect my own future, my finances, and my sanity.